Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hi, I'm Trina. I'm 40 years old. I'm a native of the island of Guam, and my mom has stage 4 metastatic breast cancer. So you have to excuse the noise. It's 112 degrees here in Vegas, so we have fans rolling. I'm talking ceiling fans. I got a fan in the hallway blowing air in here, plus two fans, one on each side of the bed. It's been hot, and you know, 80 degrees up here on the second floor is better than 112, I have to admit, but still it's a tad warm. Anyways, so I wanted to give you an update because in my previous video, I let you guys know that my mom was going to have a MRI results appointment today, which today is August 21st. I had to check. Anyways, she does have cancer that spread to her liver. They found 15 millimeter lesions, 15 of them, in her liver. And according to her oncologist, they actually had discovered that in her PET scan they did in July. I'm not sure why I didn't hear about it or Dad never mentioned it, but yeah, so it's been there. He said something about she has general bone disease now, so the cancer is in her bones at this point. So not just lesions in her spine, but the disease has spread to her bones. So the results are chemo. We're gonna keep up chemo as usual. She's had 2 treatments in the past 2 months, which doesn't sound like a lot, I know, but mom's immune system or her white blood cell count has always been below 2, and in order for her to have chemo of any kind, whether it was the pill at first or traditional chemo, which is what we switched to, is IV chemo, her white blood cell count has to be above 2. I think closer to 3, 2.5 I think was acceptable at the time. So she hasn't been there. So a lot of chemo treatments were skipped or canceled until her white blood cell count showed improvement. So that's where we're at. We went ahead and scheduled the treatments, and it's like birth control is the best way I can put it. 3 weeks on, 1 week off, which is so bizarre, but that's how it works. So that's what we're going to do. And then, you know, poor mom, last night, we had the MRI results ahead of the appointment, and my dad broke the news to her about it being in her liver, and I felt really bad because she kind of was like, I'm going to die soon, aren't I? Broke our hearts. Like, it was hard to hear her say that. So I wanted to tell you guys how I feel, because I don't know if anybody's ever watching my channel or ever searches for stage 4 cancer, family members and their reactions or their feelings, but it is really challenging to go on a daily basis and have every day be like it was before the terminal illness diagnoses. It's unfortunate that mom's came on Christmas Eve, literally, in 2019. So it's been a difficult journey since then, because she's actually been in remission. She was in remission in 2018, of June 2018, officially in March 2019. And then again in August of 2019, they cleared her one more time, still saying she was in remission. So between August 2019 and December, something had changed drastically. And one of the things I do recall, as a family member of a person who's in remission, never ignore the little signs, because we were at the outlet mall and we wanted mom to walk. So she had her walker. And the mall is about a mile long. It's about a mile long, and she started complaining about pain in her back, like really bad pain. Mosquitoes. Anyway, so we thought, okay, she's just complaining because she was walking a lot, and that's why her back hurts. We kind of put it off for 3 days until the pain didn't subside, and I do believe that was December of last year, and unfortunately, that sign of back pain, extreme back pain, was the cancer. So we did learn to always keep track of all the little signs. When she went into septic shock, for example, again, she did the same thing she did last year, which was kind of spasms that were uncontrollable, and then she just kind of went unconscious, like her eyes were glossed over. Once we saw that sign again, we admitted her to the hospital. But feelings wise, all of these things are a shock to the system. Personally, for me, I try to disconnect myself, and I've said this in other videos before. I try to disconnect myself emotionally because I don't want my depression about this, my sadness about this, to affect my mother, because she deserves to see the happier side of us. She doesn't deserve to see us struggling with her disease in terms of not just, I don't want to say coping, because it's not coping. Living with it is a challenge. She's changed a lot, and on top of her being a senior as in 80 years old with stage 4 cancer, there are other factors in her life that affect her as well, such as her mild dementia. Hearing that my mom has mild dementia was really hard on me. And I know she has short-term memory loss, but I didn't realize that literally is mild dementia. There are times where she can't remember the year. When she's questioned at her neurologist, for example, she can't repeat 4 words she was told a few minutes beforehand. So little things like that concluded to their diagnoses, on top of, EEGs, etc. She has neuropathy in her arms and her legs, so there is shaking that's present when she eats sometimes, especially if she's really hungry. She has tremors that are a little more extreme when her blood sugar is low. There's just so much. There's so much to track and to care for and to just make sure everything is done, like to keep a regular schedule. It's a lot. So if anybody ever asks, how do you cope, or how do you manage being with someone with stage 4 cancer or terminal illness, I don't have the answer. I'm still searching for it. A lot of people have told me I'm doing the right thing, that caring for my mother the way I have been is the best thing to do. And the thing is, I've done this even before she got sick. But more so now that COVID's, keeping us sheltered in place. Since March, we spend a lot more time together, obviously. Now, I work in a separate space. I actually don't see her all day, with the exception of meals or when I go down to get a drink, in between work hours. And let's say I go get a Coke Zero. If it's 10 o'clock, I check her blood, give her her shot. If it's right before work, I take her blood, give her shot, give her a pill that I know she needs to take at the time that I'm downstairs, make sure she's comfortable, tuck her back into bed, and I do that routine. It's pseudo caregiver stuff, and I get that, but it's not a burden, and it's nothing I really think of I never really think of anything of it, really. It's just taking care of my mom. But I suggest you guys do research on your own. I know that I do research a lot. My dad's researching a lot. He's actually trying to figure out if there was a place in the timeline of all her medical care that we could have caught this beforehand, so to speak. But other than that type of research, do your own research in terms of maybe group therapy if you need it. If you can't cope on your own, if you're alone with the person who's terminally ill, and you're the only person you can really rely on or lean on. I'm fortunate to have Frank, my husband, because he knows without asking me when I need that long hug or if I need more attention, and I never have to ask him for any of that. He gives me the support 110%. If you don't have that, I really think that groups where you can get in a group setting, or even one-on-one therapy with a certified psychiatrist would be ideal for dealing with stuff like this, because it's a lot. It's a heavy burden, and if you're not mentally strong, honestly, you may not make it. Not in terms of you're not going to make it, but in terms of you might mentally break down eventually. It's always good to let those emotions go, have someone or something or some place to just vent it out. It's extremely important. Now, I'm unique in that on top of having my support system, I have this really bad habit or ability to separate my brain, mentally speaking. So if I know that I need to be strong, I literally disconnect my brain from the emotional side and just make sure I focus on the care I need to give her and the happiness I need to provide. Because in my head, I'll just deal with everything else later. Emotionally speaking, I'll cry it out later. I have time for that later, but I don't have enough time left with mom. In other news, let me see if I can show you this. Do you see that? Those little dots, I did a telehealth conference with a physician, also sent pictures of my recent blood work, because I'm having these spots on my back, on the back of my shoulders and both my hands. And I have no idea what they are. And turns out I have eczema caused by stress. So that's new. It's really annoying. I have topical cream to help control it. But see, this is what I'm telling you. Like, stuff like this. Stress eczema. Who would have thought, So just be careful. Make sure you manage your stress properly. I'm learning how to do that. I'm learning how to care for myself a little more and, learn how to let things go. Because even though I think I don't need to, well, obviously my body's telling me I need to. And it's Friday, so tonight was tempura night. And mom had ham hocks, which honestly is pig's feet, in coconut milk. It's like one of her favorite things in the world. So we gave it to her. Dad went out to the Asian store. He went and bought it for her, cooked it for her for dinner. And Frank and I had tempura using tiger prawns. Whew, that was really, really good. No rice or anything, so that was really enjoyable. So it's been a good Friday, even though it's kind of been melancholy, but we try to balance it out with something that we will enjoy to relax and take a breather and give ourselves that enjoyment, that fulfillment kind of thing once in a while, because it's needed, especially in times like these. Pardon that, that's my husband. On top of that, yeah, there's a lot going on, and I'll make another video about some of my hobbies right now, because right now I'm really into Harvey's purses. I've kind of transitioned from collecting Disney pins into Harvey's bags, and I'll show you guys my collection later. I think for me, whether someone watches these videos or not, this is therapeutic for me. So whoever sees this, the one person who sees this, or if no one sees this, I'm just grateful to be able to upload this onto the internet for eternity as a record of what's going on, because to me this whole journey with mom is really important, and I wanted to record everything from the beginning in December, but if you look at my videos the past couple months, it's been difficult for me to actually sit down and record. But I'm going to try and make a habit of doing it, because I think it's important for myself personally, and then my family or my future children, if I adopt any, to be able to see what I went through, or what mom's gone through if I record her on my channel. So thanks for listening. If you got through this 15 long minutes, I really appreciate you. Please take care of each other, be safe, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.